Hello. In this video, we will be covering how to set up the single-use vouchers for your location. Single-use vouchers are a voucher that has a barcode on it with a unique scannable code. They do have a spend limit for the vouchers. They can be used for any items within the retail space. They have no cash value and can be combined with other payment methods. And multiple vouchers can be used within the same transaction. Single-use vouchers are set up for your location for specific dollar amounts by your team, and you will be provided with 3 files in order to use to create your printable vouchers. The 3 files that you would be provided include the single-use voucher instructional PDF file, the single-use voucher Excel template, and the single-use voucher print Word file. Keeping these files together in one location is a good idea for organization and in order to find them easily. We will go through the setup of the voucher templates, which is done the first time you use the files. Once the files have been set up, you do not have to continue to set them up every time, as the settings will save for your next use. The single-use voucher instructions contain the information that we're covering in today's video, including information about the vouchers, how we create our single-use vouchers, and instructions for the initial setup of our different tabs, cost centers, business units, and more. The document also covers how to generate the Excel file and how to link the Excel file to the Word document in order to print your vouchers out for use. Let's go ahead and set up our Excel template first. To launch our Excel template, we simply double-click the file from our folder location. Our file will load and display multiple tabs along the bottom and our voucher print screen initially. You may receive a message at the top of the Excel page telling you that you need to allow the use or enable editing. Please do accept editing for the file. The voucher print page displays a version of the voucher in the top left-hand corner. As we make changes to components to the right of that, the voucher will update. This is a preview of what your print files may look like. Additional instructions are offered to the bottom left side of the screen, indicating what fields can and cannot be changed. There are several fields along the bottom in different tab groups that we can change and some that we cannot. Our default amount tabs displayed at the bottom should not be altered. These contain information about the barcodes available to use at your location for the single use, as well as who has created print versions in the past. Do not touch these print tabs with the dollar amounts, as they are linked within the file and are easy to change from the voucher print area. Business units is used to add any specific location names to your area, and we're going to add the names in location A. It must contain 8 characters or less and can contain numbers or letters, but no special characters. Let's go ahead and add one for our demo purposes. I'll add in training. I'll add in a short abbreviation, and I'm going to add in a location code. This information will be available in our voucher print area under our business unit dropdown. As we can see, I now have training available as well. Do not alter the values found in the Voucher Value tab, as these are locked in and tied into your voucher print layout. You can, however, change information within department, including the department number found on the left-hand side column and a description of your department on the right-hand column. There can be no spaces or dashes or special characters within the department description. However, you can use an underscore. The numbers should be put into ascending order. Let's go ahead and add one to the bottom here. Call it Volanté training for this demo. The last tab is our Merge to Word Multiprint file. We'll talk a little bit about this towards the end of our voucher print setup. However, I've left it filled with information. These are previously created vouchers in the system that we should clean out and clear off before we create our new ones for today. I can delete the current vouchers within the queue, I can also go to my voucher print sheet using the hot link, or by touching the tab at the bottom. I can also delete the current vouchers in the queue, and I do have an indication of how many vouchers are currently in the queue. I'm going to go ahead and delete the current vouchers that are there. Now I have no vouchers, and if we take a look, we see that the list has been formatted. So let's come back to our voucher print and take a look at how we set up our voucher for printing. Our retail outlet name is appearing on our voucher on the left, and we see that information appearing here. So this ticket authorizes up to dollar amount of any purchase at the location. Let's go ahead, we'll change our location name. We simply double click in the field, and we'll call it Volanté Test. For today, Volanté Test Voucher. When I click away, notice how the name is updated. I can also change the information that appears in our bar. I'll go ahead and make us a new message. Call it our summer voucher. Notice how it's updated. I can use the dropdown to change my business unit based on the information I've added to my business unit tab. So we'll go ahead and change it to training. We do have a little update that's taken place down here at the bottom of our screen. We can also update our cost center name using the departments created in our departments tab. I can use the down arrow in order to access our drop-down list and navigate using my mouse or the up and down arrows on my keyboard. We can see the test cost center department that I added, so I'll choose that and hit enter. It has updated in the bottom right. I can also change the expiry date on my voucher by double-clicking in this field and changing it to another date. So in my case, I'll go ahead and change it to the end of summer. Hit enter, and we can see our expiration date is updated. If your location has multiple voucher values available based on the number of different tabs set up for you at the bottom, you may be able to use the drop-down to choose a different voucher amount. I'll go ahead and choose $6. And I can see that there are 19 barcodes available of $6. Or if I choose $8.50, I can see I have 800 barcodes currently available. My last step would be to determine how many of these vouchers I would like to print at this time. So in my case, I'm going to go ahead and say 12. We do suggest picking values in multiples of 6, as the print page does display 6 vouchers in one printable screen. The last step will be to choose the Create Voucher button. So I'll go ahead and choose that now. And it does take me to the Merge to Word Multiprint screen. So as we can see, my retail outlet, the message, the amounts, those barcodes that were used, as well as my values and other information has all appeared in my file. If I return back to the voucher print screen, I can see that I now have less barcodes available to generate as I've used up some of my list. And if I take a look, I can see that some of these have now been assigned into the session I'm using for today. Once I'm done setting up the amount of vouchers I would like to print for this session, I'm going to go ahead and hit the Save button in order to save my file. It is important to save my file before using it within my Word document layout so that all the new information appears in my Merge to Word Multiprint. Let's go ahead and open up our Word file now for our single-use voucher print. I'm going to go ahead and double-click on the file to launch Word. You will likely receive a message indicating that the opening of this document is going to run an SQL command. What this is doing is linking this Word document to the Excel sheet you were just working on. I'm going to go ahead and choose Yes, and it's going to prompt me to find the file location where I have saved my documents. I'll go ahead and find the file location, choose the voucher template Excel sheet, and choose to open it. This will link the two files together so that future vouchers I create within the Word template will be using the Excel sheet for information. As we can see within our voucher setup, I have 6 of the vouchers displayed on screen. If I've selected to generate more than 6 printouts, they are behind the scenes, but we're just seeing a print preview at this point of the single page. Let's go ahead and zoom in on one of our vouchers and we'll take a closer look. So we can see the name that we selected, the value we selected, the area we selected, the expiry date, as well as scannable QR codes that can now be used for our single-use voucher printing. Once we have printed out these vouchers, we're now free to hand them out to our staff or guests to use at any of our retail location point of sale terminals. From here, we'll navigate to our mailings area, where we'll choose the option to finish and merge, and we'll choose to print our documents. In the dialog box that appears, select From and enter the number of vouchers you created using your Excel sheet. So in this case, I'll say 1 to 12. Go ahead and say OK, and we'll get the standard print screen that appears in Word. We can save them to a PDF if we would like, and I'll go ahead and say OK. Within the dialog box, I can select the area that I would like to save my files to, so I'll put them in the same area with my vouchers. I'll give it a name, and I'll hit Save. Once my voucher save has been completed, I can now view those vouchers with the single-use scannable barcodes within Adobe. Let's take a look. As we can see, I have 2 pages worth of scannable barcoded vouchers appearing on screen. I can now print this file using my standard desktop printer. One last step that we should do to complete the process for today is to close our Word document. So we'll click the X to close Word. We can say Save. This will save any changes we've made, as well as saving the linkage that we've made between the Word and Excel sheets. Our last step is to return back to our Excel sheet, where we can either delete the current vouchers in print queue, as we know that these are the vouchers we have just used to create our new print screen vouchers, or we can save from here. It is important, however, that every time we make any changes within this voucher screen, and before we start creating new vouchers, that we do make note and delete any vouchers that are sitting in queue before we start new for the session. I'll go ahead and save myself the step on the next time by deleting the current vouchers. I have nothing in my print queue. I do know that these were the ones I just used as they have been assigned. No vouchers are in queue, so I'm going to go ahead and save my file. I can now close my Excel sheet, and when I reopen it again on my next session, all of the information I created previously, including new business units or new departments, will be saved in my file. So after the initial update of adding in all of your business units and adding in all of your departments, you should not need to continue updating the file. Saving your file after every use is important, however, to make sure we're not creating any duplicated vouchers. We don't want to hand out the same barcode to multiple users, as the barcodes can only be used one time. And do note that my print queue is still empty from our last session. Thank you for watching our video for today. And if you do have any questions related to printable single-use vouchers, please reach out to us at training@volantesystems.com for further assistance.